All right, I hear good things come to those who wait. And so as they're getting this going, I'm just going to go and start talking and getting the presentation going. So I'm Elle. I'm a professional adventure photographer. I've been a long time climber. And more importantly, I'm so much about the joy of the journey and making sure that's really and shared and put on screen and making sure that who can tell the story, that those people in the story can also tell it. So a little more about me. Before I picked up a camera, before I got invited to be on the Nat Geo Adventure team, before all of that, I was pretty much like so many people. Um, I grew up in a single parent household. I didn't have the most access to resources. I really didn't start climbing until college because I had no idea what that was. And then I found out what it was. And then I realized I'd been climbing for a while, and I was like, wow, um, what I see in imagery is so different than how I'm experiencing it with my friends. Like, I couldn't really relate to an ice beard or things like that. And so I wanted to really see how I can put my own spin, how I could show the flavor, the style, the steez, the people, the community. And that's something that meant so much to me. So the first time I picked up a camera, I couldn't afford one, and so I started with just a phone. And then I worked an internship uh, when I was in design school, and I was like, oh, I'm going to save up a little money and finally get this little camera, and then I try to take it everywhere with me. And so from there, after climbing for maybe 5 or 6 years at that point, I was like, I think I'm gonna try and tell a narrative. And like my little brother was my first subject. And so starting small. One of the things I wanna tell you is if you wait for other people to invite you, especially if you're a woman or if you're a person of color with a camera, don't wait. Don't wait to be invited, because if I waited to be invited, my whole career wouldn't be here. You have to figure out how to invite yourself, and that can be on the smallest shoot. That can be kind of with anything. And just making sure that you know that your story and that your vantage point is really important and that it doesn't have to be how it was. You can invite yourself to give that flavor. So after that, I was like, I got this little camera. I'm just gonna figure out how to use it to the max and have fun with it. I know so many people, crags, all these things, and I'm just gonna make sure that I can illuminate it. And then from there, things kind of took off. And so it's kind of been like a unexpected thing, but something I was really passionate about. And so my little brother was my first subject, and then that moved to like taking pictures of him at Joshua Tree, and then that moved bigger. I knew all these people that really hadn't had their stories be told, and these were friends. This is a story that I feel like I could truly tell from a perspective that I didn't really see. And so that's how I really kind of got started, and what's kind of kept me passionate. And so before George Floyd, before the tragedy, um, I had spent all this time like trying to hone those skills, and then brands started reaching out. And the hard part was like, okay, uh, you want me to go out for you, but you're not adequately paying. So how do I make sure these people feel supported and not exploited? And sometimes that can be really tough. And so, and that's something I had a hard line with. I'll never forget uh, someone. Oh, here we go. So yeah, invite yourself. Oh, this is me. Keep going. And so I'll switch up to make sure you guys can go visually. And if you go back one, all right, so this is what kind of people know me for. And so I took all my work that I've been doing before George Floyd's, and I just made them magazine covers. And I was like, kind of what you need to do sometimes is like provoke people. This is who I had not been seeing. These are people that are rad. These are people that have been out there doing the thing, but you never saw it illuminated. And so that helped to land me in the prior work. Then I got this cover of Outside, and and then it landed me to do a couple more things. And so before being able to do kind of this like epic stuff and go on these expeditions, this is the world's largest cave in Vietnam. I was here taking photos of my brother. And you got to start with what you have and do what you do and make it, for me, it's making it fun. What I realized is that my parents never got to go to some of these places. They didn't feel safe enough. And so us being there is just a cool and a rad thing to be in spaces that they never even felt safe to go. And so I'm not going to be upset or angry or feel like I have to overly try hard. We're just going to show what it feels like for us to be there. And so that's kind of how my work kind of got started. I was like, I'm going to illuminate who I know, who I can show how we are outside. And so I did this trip. This was for Patagonia. And so I was like, let me show you. But the funny thing is, when they reached out first, I had to like explain. I was like, hey, I'm really not privileged enough to work with you. You want to hold it and put it in the archive. You're not really paying anybody. How does this work for someone that doesn't come from means and access? That email circulated, and then they called me back. And they were like, oh, we didn't realize that. And so you kind of have to invite what you want to see. And so I started really going out and making sure I was taking pictures of friends. And so then more brands reached out. So this is one of the ones I did for the North Face Orléans. And making sure I'm showing things in my beautiful way. I didn't have the most lenses at all. I borrowed the camera from work. I rented stuff, but I wanted to show it. It's just a passion. And showing how we are outside. And how diverse it was, stuff that I just didn't see. And so, but what I did see is a lot of this colonial take on the outdoors. And so it's about like, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna stand on top of it. And things like that, which is fine for some people, but you don't have to bring this kind of colonial way of thinking, I'm gonna have to conquer it to be here. Instead, you can just figure out more things can be invited. Like this, showing that this is just as rad and just as powerful. The ability to exhale, the ability to be there, the ability to see us, and for us to tell our own stories. And so I'm here to bring the flavor, the drip, and make sure that brands and people that we see us, that you know that you're supposed to be here, you know that women are supposed to be here, that know that you can climb epic things. Some more of my work, and that I'm always outside documenting people that I think that should be illuminated. Dom is here in the back, and another rad climber. This is a normal day. I didn't come from the most equipment. This is one lens, taking it out. And like, I thought he should be illuminated. I mean, he's incredible. This is before he was on the climb. Shout out, Dom. And I was like, why isn't this on places? And then taking that power and like, all right, if I got this, how am I making sure I'm repping my community and doing it in the best way? And letting people know that we exist and that we're here. And then making sure that I'm also leveling up. Like the first time I was outside, not the first time I was outside, the first time I was at a festival, it was actually Color the Crag, and I was the lead photographer. And from there, I was like, I'm seeing a space. Okay, I'm gonna take a bet on myself. I'm gonna move to California and try to figure out this photo thing. And then the pandemic happened. All those brands that had all that work you just saw, all called back. They were like, oh, we kind of need this now. And it's like, no. Instead of you're going to have to figure out how to really support. And so part of my work with having my own studio is making sure that when people show up on my shoots, that they feel amazing, that they feel supported. They're not doing it for a jacket. They're doing it because one, they're feeling supported, and one, that they can have incredible experiences. And I'm super aware that you're ushering people into places that they may not have been. So, climate trip, cities to Big Sur, uh, and documenting that what it is for how I'm outside. Keep going. Yeah. And documenting again the flavor. What doesn't get me outside, like, it's like you don't have to just show up in full khaki all the time, unless it's fly, and like do stuff like this, and you can do more. There's more ways that we can be outside, and we can show who we are. We can show everything, all identities, and showing my style, which is I like to bring the fun, and showing all the sports and showing our athleticism. Um, and then making sure that we're still including all types of stories and not just the fun, but also the badassness. So out in Chamonix with my buddy Andrew, shout out Andrew, down to, again, when you're working with brands, making sure that everyone's included. And more importantly, we have so many amazing allies here, making sure that you're allowing other people to tell the story. If you're not part of that community, empower someone to have a camera. If you know someone's interested, give them some tips. Bring people out to the crag with you. And so this is me bringing some friends out. I was like, I live in California now. Let's come have some oysters. Let's come and go climb. Let's come and show the swag. Let's show the steez. And really exude like that first time you climb by the ocean. Like those are things that are so meaningful to me and why I'm still in it. I was in it before there was any money, before any of that. I just wanted to show that, one, remember to invite yourself. Two, the way you tell a story is powerful. And three, you don't need to be outside the way somebody else does. Feel free to show up fully as yourself. You can feel good. You can be you. And thank you.